All right, let's do this. This is decimal equations practice worksheet. Hey, if you're not subscribed, please do so. If you give me a thumbs up, that'd be great. I'll give you one back. Woo, let's go. If you're a teacher or a parent or a student, go ahead and download this PDF. I have it in English and Spanish, so feel free to download it, print it off, perform all these wonderful equations. Come on back and see how you did. Okay, let's rock and roll. These, notice all of these values have decimal points, right? Well, not all of them, but the coefficient, which is the number in front of the variable, and that constant term do. So remember, the goal is to isolate the variable term and then get a 1 in front of that variable. Because I want to know what does 1m equal. So that's my goal. All right, I'm going to move this constant over with that constant. So the inverse operation of minus 7 is plus 7 and plus 7. Simplify it. So that means perform the operation you just did. That goes to 0. So 2.1m equals. This isn't bad because this is like 7.0. So add up your tenths, add up your ones, and you get that. Okay? I'm going to go right up here if that's all right. I'm going to rewrite it. Okay, now I treat this just like if it was a non-decimal. So I'm still going to divide by that number in front because I know if I divide something by itself, it always equals 1. So 2.1 divided by 2.1 is 1, so that's 1m. 8.4 divided by 2.1. 8.4 divided by 2.1, I believe, is 4. Let's find out. It is 4. So that's it. We done. Right? If you wanted to check it, you could go ahead and go to the left-hand side of your equal symbol and put that 4 in. And when you simplify it, it should simplify down to 1.4. So I'm going to do 2.1 times 4 minus 7. And notice how it simplifies to 1.4. So all of this simplified to 1.4 equals 1.4. Boom, and that's true. So that checks. I'm going to put it in the answer column this time. M equals 4. All right, let's do it again. Identify that variable term. Here's that variable term. Boom. I'm going to move those constants over. Wow, we're going to look sideways. I'm going to move those constants over. So this is a constant, this is a constant. My inverse operation for plus 12.3 is a minus 12.3. Right? When you got to line up those decimal points. Now, when I do this, I'm going to end up getting negative 1.6m is equal to. They're both negative, so I'm just getting more negative. So that's going to be negative 12.8. Okay, now I'm going to inverse operation for the multiplication is, that's right, I heard you, division. Okay, this goes to 1m, that's what I wanted. And now I'm going to do negative 12.8 divided by negative 1.6. And I get 8. That was nice. Oh, I'll try to get it without the glare. There it is. M equals 8. In Espanol, es 8. All right, good job. Let's keep going. There's that variable term again. I always look for those variable terms. Always, always, always. Because I know I got to get them by themselves on the right. I'm sorry, on the left. All right, inverse operation of minus 9 is plus 9. I'm going to go here. Sorry, didn't have a lot of room there. 2.8m equals, if I take 60 cents, because that's what that says, that's like 60 cents. If I take 60 cents away from $9, I end up having $8.40, which is 8.4. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and do that inverse operation. The inverse operation for multiplication is division. That right. So m equals, I think it's 3, but I'm going to check it to make sure. 8.4 divided by 2.8 is 3. So M equals 3. M equals 3. All right. Solve and place answer in a decimal form. Okay, so that means I'm going to have a non-integer answer. An integer means a number without a decimal point, right? There's no number less than a whole number. So decimal points are used when we have a fraction of a whole number. So that's like 0.8 of 1, right? 2 wholes and 0.8 of 1. Okay. So now I'm going to go here. I'm going to identify terms for y'all. Let's identify those variable terms. Boom. And a boom. And let's identify those constant terms. A boom and a boom. All right, I'm going to go ahead and inverse operation my variable term over. So the opposite of a minus 0.41 is plus, I don't know why I did the decimal point, 0.41p. This is just to hold the place value of the 1, right? It doesn't really have any value. It's just letting you know that that's the ones column decimal point tenths hundredths. Okay, and what I do to one side, I got to do to the other. Line up everything that is like, so hundredths and tenths. So that gives me 0.5p plus 0.9 equals 1. Okay, I'm going to inverse operation. So the opposite of plus 0.9 is minus 0.9. Rewrite it. 0.5p equals 0.1 when I do that. I'm going to go up here. So I'm going to take 0.5p equals 0.1. I'm going to do inverse operation of multiplication is division. So I end up getting that, and I get p is equal to 0.1 over 0.5. All right, we're never really supposed to have a decimal point in a fraction. Mathematicians don't like that, so we don't do it. But notice, I asked you to put this in decimal form. So to put something in decimal form, just perform the division. 0.2, you're done. So equals 0.2. If you want to do 0.2, then that's fine. Both of them work. All right, I'm going to hold that place value of 1 for my final answer. So I'm going to do that. Okay, last one. Identify those variable terms. There it is. There it is. All right, identify those constant terms. There it is. And boom. Okay, move those variables to the left. To the left. Plus 0.81 pi. Plus 0.81 pi, because that's the inverse of minus, right? I'm going to use my calculator on this, if that's all right. I'm going to move this up for y'all too. Move it. Let's go. Okay, so I got negative 0.17 plus 0.81. That equals 0.64. So that's 0.64p plus 0.52 equals 0.44. All right, now I got to move this constant over. So opposite of a plus is a minus. Remember what I do to one side, I got to do the other. Oh, minus. Simplify. That goes away. It's 0.64p equals, I think that's negative 0.8, but I'm going to double check because I don't want to make a mistake because I didn't use the technology in front of me. It is negative 0.08. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 0.64. And that gives me, this is 1, right? Because when you divide something by itself, it's always 1. 0.08 divided by 0.64, 0.125. We done. Wow, that was well done, everybody. Well done. Keep coming back. Please subscribe. Give me that thumb up. All right? Give me 2 of them. Tell your friends about it. Hey, teachers, download these things. Give them to your class, right? If you got a substitute, it's a great way to keep going with your work. I'll teach them because I love these little gremlins. All right, be good. Bye.